Okay, this is a recreation of Plimoth Plantation from 1621. So it's supposed to be authentic representation of how it looked. And then down around there, it's a Wampanoag hut. So I'm not sure if all this was done by hand or with nails or what. Well, I'm sure they didn't do it by hand, because look at the fence. But this is pretty accurate as far as what they did. Was they thought they were in peril, so what the Pilgrims did was they cut down thousands of trees and just made a stockade around the whole area, because they thought because they lost around half of their people in the first winter, that they thought they were imperiled. So they didn't have much food. The people were starving, and but this was their priority.
We built this 50 years ago.
Where did they mill
They,
or back in that time?
they had saws.
Okay.
They had several different types of saws. And
Pretty neat view. These were Catton's replicas, obviously, that were bought with them. They probably didn't even have enough manpower initially to use them, but you just think about what a pain in the ass it must have been just to raise these. Obviously, they had a lot of pulleys. Oh no. Freaking kids would be a pain in the ass. So this is what it actually looked like, because they built 7 structures for around 40 or 50 people, so a lot of people were doubling up. No windows, but I assume they had shutters at least. Nice bed.
This is like a studio.
Gives an idea how small it is and how many people would be in here. Probably if there was 50 survivors and 7, probably was 10 people. Excuse me. People role playing.
I mean, my hat's Dutch. Do you have this kind of hat in the things once in a while. Yes. I mean, we'll use it eventually. Right now, I'm pruning it back. The flowers are mostly gone by.
Dirt floors, table. This is a pretty big place. That's the reenactor.
If it was crowded, I think don't remember if the Mayflower was crowded, but then other ships were coming.
Yes.
Turnip, radish, and pompion over there. Chive, and more cabbage over here, as well as marigold. And in that bed we did have beans, but now we got some dill, carrots, we got chicory, and some sundry herbs in there.
Now, what do you guys use to prevent insects from eating things? Because my garden, I have a lot of problems with insects. And is there anything that you guys do?
You can plant southernwood and wormwood are good for repelling of insects, but other than that, not much.
Wormwood, and what's the other one?
Southernwood.
Southernwood, and it's a plant?
Mm-hmm.
And how many people are living here?
In that house there are 6 right now.
Only 6. I read that, sadly, out of the 102 people that you came over the Atlantic with, about half died after a few months.
Yeah, I was not on that first ship.
Oh, you weren't?
Richard Warren was. You'll
Okay.
find now, there are about 150 or so that are here, but only about 50 of that number were the ones that survived.
Now, since there's only 7 houses, is there a lot of, or is there only 7 or maybe 8? Is a lot of families doubling up?
Nay, this was just the first part to go up.
Oh,
Now
I
that
see.
since my ship came 4 years ago, most
Oh,
of
okay,
us
so-
built houses outside the Palisades.
Okay, so what year are we in right now?
We're on,
I forgot.
1627.
Oh,
So it's been
1627.
7 years since Mayflower.
Okay.
Of course, we're still a very small settlement, but enough time for some growth. Very
Yeah.
little,
Okay.
but some.
All right, great. Well, good luck with the winter.
Oh, thank you. Godspeed, Master.
Yeah, but pure lye is very harsh on the skin. So in England, you can always tell a laundress by her huns. They're always red and cracked. My huns were much the same early on in the colony. Oh yeah. We both got here on Mayflower, and about half of the folk that we travelled with were called back to God, died of sickness. And out of the 50 or so of us that survived, only 4 of us were grown women. And then we had a handful of young women like Mistress Alden here, who had, 18 years at the time?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, so just about. We had never run a household before, certainly, but it was just that handful of us to do 50 people's laundry for about a year.
Wow.
And then we got a second ship which brought over 30 people to us, so it almost doubled our number. And amongst them there were but 2 women. So then it was over 80 people's laundry to do and still just a handful of us to do it. For 2 more years. and then we got more women. Since then, some of our burdens have been a little more evenly distributed.
How often do you do laundry?
Depends a lot on the season, depends on the household as well. Someone that's got young children, for example, Mistress Standish, she's got 3 sons below the age of 4. So she does laundry much more often than I do, just on account of tailcloths and children getting filthy in general. And for my family, given that we are not very many, we're only 3 in my household, and everyone's above that age, I try not to do laundry more than once a week, if I can manage it. Yeah, certainly I have to do it more often in summer than winter because we get much sweatier, we get filthier. But in winter, I might wear the same smock multiple times before it's washed. I'll switch it out every day, I'll let it air out a little bit, be fresher, but in summer, if I wear a smock once, it'll be washed. So you have to do it more often then. Yeah.
Now you came here aboard the Mayflower, correct?
Yeah, both of us did, yeah.
Now, how many, after when you started building the structures, how many structures were there originally? Well, how many houses?
The time of our first harvest,
Yeah.
there was about 6 houses and 4 common buildings.
So with the 4 houses, were there families that doubled up, where every family had their own structure house?
In the very beginning, so many folk had lost people that
Yeah.
a lot of families were broken apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, every household
Okay.
was mostly a mixture of people from different families.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we had, after that first winter, only 3 families left completely intact.
Wow.
My family being one of them. Everyone else, it might have experienced what Mistress Alden here experienced.
Yeah, I lost just about everyone I travelled with.
Oh.
My parents.
Oh, you're the famous Alden.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
so famous.
Famous.
Oh.
Now, didn't
I'm
you?
the only, she did not tell me.
Oh, okay.
I've only
Okay.
been in Alden for 6 years.
Oh,
now.
okay, okay.
So
okay.
if I'm famous, it is for reasons I know not. It might be due to my husband's family. back in England.
Maybe. Do you intend to live here forever, or you intend to move someplace else, or do you like it here?
Well, I'm not going to go back to England.
Well,
that
of
is
course,
the question.
maybe to Duxbury or somewhere like that.
Where?
Oh, I think Duxborough is a village near where Mistress Standish comes from, back in
Oh.
Lancashire.
Yes.
Like I said, I do not mean to go back
Okay.
to England.
All
Yeah,
right.
Duxborough's in England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but certainly these houses are just temporary dwellings.
I see.
And once our contract is over, we're all to be granted shares of land and we'll spread out into the
Ah.
surrounding area for some miles around.
What
Great.
got everybody sick? What was the illness?
It was not plague, it was not pox. It wasn't the sort of thing that typically would kill so many. Yeah, it just
All right.
Just children either, but also boarders. There are some men that sleep on beds on the floor that are, in the midst of their 20s. Even not every house has got a bedstead like this in it. Some houses have not bedsteads. This is the wooden part.
So when you say borders, what is that?
So it's a lot of men came here without families, and it would be kind of a waste of
shit.
Duck that I roasted the other day with beans, squash, garlic, onion, and dried cranberries. And I'm frying one in sunflower oil. And then I have a mint tea as well. So all these ingredients are native to here.
Yeah.
Except for sage, you can get that from the Great Lakes area from trade.
Yeah.
But it can't grow here. And you would snack on all of this throughout the day. So there was no breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You just eat whenever you're hungry. So you have about 5 to 7 small meals a day. And that's also what doctors and dietitians recommend. And also it was 70% fruits and vegetables. There were no refined salts or sugars, no dairy, no alcohol. So people were living well into their hundreds.
Wow.
But this is just where one family would be, so about 5 people or so, parents, no more than 2 or 3 kids.
So you said no dairy?
Yeah. Because there are no cows here, they're
Right.
from Africa.
Yeah.
And any other animal you would
Dugout canoe. His traditional method.
He's my granddad, so we're on a little granddad,
How you doing?
granddaughter.
I assume you would have to make the canoe close to water because even after you hollow it out, it's prohibitively heavy to carry it a significant distance.
Yeah, it's also just there wasn't the need to go looking for it. It's not like these days where we're kind of like scouring everywhere to find it.
Right.
If you walked along the river and the beach, there would be something big enough.
Okay.
Oh, are you recording right now?
Is that okay?
I just wish you said something to begin.
The guy wasn't too happy that I filmed him, but
If you have 40 people, your house is then going to transform from this size to where this is the length. And then the inside is insulated with bulrush mats. These are hand woven. The bulrushes are collected prior to colonization and the introduction of diseases that wiped out people, and for other reasons. People were living